Recording in progress.
Alright, guys, what's going on? Today is going to be very good and interesting stream with our client from India, Srinivasarao, who got approved for his L1 visa and got on his journey to get a green card through EB1C. Today we're going to be discussing his case, and I see that Srinivasarao is already here, so I'm gonna let him into the stream so we could start our beautiful discussion. So let's give him a couple of seconds. Srinivasarao, get the audio, get the video going. There you go. All right, very good. I can
Hey,
see you. I can hear you.
hey, hi Stanislav. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Are you still in Texas right now?
Yes. I'm at my home in Austin.
In Austin. Very good. How's the weather? Is it getting chilly?
So from 2 days, not so much, but before that it was too chilly.
Of
So
course.
yesterday weather was good, so we saw some good sun.
Yeah, because that's a relative question, right? Like for someone it's
Yeah.
cold, for someone it's okay, no problem. All right, good, good. Srinivasarao, thank you very much for finding the time to get this stream out, because I know you are a businessman, a very busy man, and you have a lot of things to do. So I really appreciate your time, and I believe that these streams that I make with my clients who got approvals for us, if we can help at least one person in the whole world, it's a win for everybody. So usually we help more than that for people to understand the chances, if they fit within the program, understand the process. So again, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I don't think we're gonna spend more than 45 minutes on that, so will be a nice and smooth and quick. So how it's gonna go? First of all, I'm gonna ask you to tell us about yourself, about where you were born, who is your family, why you became a businessman, a little bit of your autobiography, because I really like to tell everybody, make everybody know about the origin of our clients, the talented people, the businessmen, the investors. Then we're gonna discuss why you decided to expand your business into the US. Then I will ask you why you chose to work with our company, with Shamayev Business Law. Then we're going to discuss your case, what criteria we satisfied, what kind of documents we provided, and then at the end I will ask you to give your best advice to people who are on this journey or on this way to start working on their cases. So for those who didn't get the sense of today's stream, guys, Srinivasarao got approval for L1 visa, which is intercompany transfer from the company outside of the US to the company in the US. And that took us a little bit over a year, which to my taste is a little bit longer, but as long as we have the result, we can cope with this. And Srinivasarao is the businessman in technology, innovation, and IT. So that's the short about the case, and we're gonna in detail discuss it a little bit later. So, Srinivasarao, tell me and tell everybody where you're from, where you were born, what you were doing, what's your education, and why did you become a businessman? What was the trigger for you to do this?
Yes. First of all, thank you, Stanislav, for this opportunity. So as you said, mm, anything we can help with the aspiring professionals or aspiring entrepreneurs, right? So whatever we can help, and then you're doing a great job on that. Appreciate on that. I'll give you a quick background of me. So basically, it is kind of I hail from southern part of India. So I was born and brought up there in the state Andhra Pradesh. So you can say that So I was brought up in a semi-urban background. It's not exactly rural. It's not exactly urban, but it was a semi-urban background. So I completed my masters there only. In a way that I have never stepped out of my semi-urban town till I completed my masters. Right. So I never even went to a city.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the typical aspirations were always there, right? So, so we want to excel in our careers. We want to do something different and all.
So
That's where.
anybody in your family, Srinivasarao, was a businessman?
No, no, no. My father was a government employee,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and my mother was a homemaker. So
Okay.
not even any distant relative was a businessman.
So what exactly was what affected you? What triggered your desire to do the business to make more money? What do you remember? Like maybe when you were a kid, or maybe you watch a movie, or you read a book or something. What was that thing?
Yeah, so the last one, right? The last option, you can say that I used to read a lot of books. I know, so I used to read a lot of books, and that is the triggered point. You can say I had couple of options, either to go on a government side, service sector, and do what I want. But at the same time, it's kind of it always fascinated me how people have so started their industries and then so created jobs, right? So that was one big part in India where not everybody was able to do it. Only a few, very very few people who were able to do it. With the background kind of mind, again, as I said, so not too many businessmen I have seen in my surroundings, except the few very very few industrialists and all, how they were touching upon lives, and then how they were able to add to the economy, how they were able to make money. So that was a very interesting factor, and I used to read a lot of books, as I said, and one book inspired me. Obviously, is many people got inspired by that. Is from Rich Dad and Poor Dad, right? So that was a very, very
Mm-hmm.
nice book, and
Mm-hmm.
that was my starting point in reading business related books. So then I have read a lot of books after that. So that is one of the reason. That is one of the reason behind my thought process of venturing into business rather than getting into a so streamlined employee based career or a service sector career. So that was a starting point. But initially, I did I did jobs as well. I did as a software engineer in couple of companies,
Mm-hmm.
and I stepped out of my comfort zone of my hometown, and I went to Mumbai. I went to Chennai. So I did a couple of years job in Chennai and 3 years in Mumbai. So Mumbai was a turning point for me, right? So Mumbai is kind of New York City of USA. So Mumbai, you
Mm-hmm.
can say, for India, right? So you will see a lot of business people in Mumbai, and they are not afraid to take chances. They are not afraid to for failures, and they wanted to do something for the community, and then in the process make money, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I got bigger inspirations in Mumbai, and then it confirmed my aspirations, right? So whatever you're thinking, dude, it is right. So
That's
that's
that's that's
how.
good. That's like,
Yeah.
and that's the pretty noble cause to do the business to make impact on lives of other people. I think it's pretty noble. So, how many attempts did it take you until you got that idea that actually worked out?
For the business, you
Mm-hmm.
can say I am lucky. It was my first attempt.
You know, doesn't happen too often in
Yeah, very,
general.
very, very rarely. So it is kind of when I was doing my job itself, I did freelancing in my free time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and the domain I got into was also a right domain, the customer relationship management domain, Salesforce ecosystem. I was contributing in the open forums, and job forums, and skill improval blogs and all. So I was contributing wherever possible. And during that time, many people used to approach me, like, so they are stuck in this kind of tech problem, and then if I'm able to solve it. And surprisingly, most of the requests used to come from the states. Right, so
Mm-hmm.
because the Salesforce was being implemented in the United States in a much bigger fashion,
Mm-hmm.
but not many people were able to handle those typical complex technical questions, right? So then I was enjoying in helping people, and then make more money than what I was making in the job.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
this thought came, so why not start a company, so that I can cater to more clients, and in a much bigger manner. And then that is when initially the thought came of starting my own company. Then I founded a small company along with one of my friend. I was like a co-founder. We ran that company for around 8 years, and then one of the firm from the USA has acquired that company. Like the team, we built a big team for them, and they have acquired the team. So that is when the thought of moving to US came in the year 2018. Till then, it was kind of what we are doing is great. So we are able to create jobs. We are able to do this business successfully. This was the kind of thought process. It never occurred to me like so I should move to the states and uh, expand the company. This was at my previous company, but when the company came from the United States, and then they started talking about the acquisition and all, I had no clue how to respond to that, right? So because that is the line of thinking I never had. And unfortunately, the deal was good, but not so great, right? And then it was my hands were tied up, kind of. They were our biggest client as well, right? So I had to honor their request. Then I thought, so it's now that this is learned, so that was a good deal. So we can do much better, right? So now that this thought process started, like so now next time when I found my next company, right? So this is one thing, so that I have to take care of. Make sure that I have multiple clients from the states, not depend on one client. And then if possible, so move to the states where the clients are, right? So that is the thought process. So then I started in 2018. You have all my so how the company started, everything you know. So then this is the company
So
I have
when
founded.
let me ask you when was what was the year when you sold your first company?
2018.
2018. So same 2018 you established your current company.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
and you started building. So tell us in short what exactly the service or the product you provide to the market through your current company.
So the ecosystem, I mean, is the same Salesforce ecosystem. So we are a Salesforce trade partner, and then we have around 100 people working from India in both our Bangalore and Hyderabad offices. And we work with Java full stack clients and all. Mostly we are into services right now. Uh, it is like we provide the customizations and then implementations for Salesforce customers, and so whoever wants to build any Java applications or mobile applications, even native iPhone and Android apps. So these are our primary so sweet spots, you can say. Now we want to expand to ServiceNow, Snowflake and all, so we are adding that to our portfolio. But as of now, we Salesforce is our biggest so sweet spot. Salesforce is our biggest revenue contributor, you can say, Salesforce ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So, the seeds were planted in your mind with the first acquisition that happened in your career, and they start growing and growing. How did you? What was the process of you finding the professional to help you achieve your L1 approval?
Yes, so that's a great question, right? So when I started the company, I thought it's pretty easy, to be honest. So once I established the company and then take it to somewhere where the finances, everything is going properly, then I thought, so it's very easy process. I just pick up an attorney from the market and then go with it, because L1A for an entrepreneur who started the journey in India and coming to USA is very rare. It is kind of there are so many people who comes on H1B, L1B, and F1 visas and all. So I thought it is same as that. It's not so difficult because most of these H1 L1B is done by bigger companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, Infosys, TCS, and all. The thing which I didn't know is, like, so they have a huge team, so where the legal teams, process teams who takes care of all the documentation. They have quotas here and all. I did not know much about that. So then once I started researching, it blew my mind. Like, so much process, man. So it is how I'm going to handle it, right? So because I'm good at what I'm doing, but I'm not so good at how the legalities works, or
Of
what are
course.
all the everything. Because so it's like kind of I traveled before on my business visas a few times, but so never thought about moving here and all, and especially on the route L1A, right? I got to I finalized, like so my route should be L1A. So this is the better, this is the correct route, because I'm the executive of my company, I'm the CEO of the company. It makes only sense. But the real problem came next time, right? Who is going to handle this for me,
Right.
right? So
So
that's
how did you find out how did you resolve this issue?
Yes, yes. So it is kind of, it was not easy, as I said. So the decision to move to US was easy, but so finding the right person was difficult. In fact, so I was researching, I was speaking to some attorneys referred by people here. I was doing online research. I was speaking to a few people who came on top list in the Google search, right? And somehow so it didn't click. I spoke to at least 6 to 7 attorneys before coming to you, right? I spoke to at least 6 to 7 attorneys. So then somehow something was off always, right? So it is kind of everybody was saying that we are able to do it and you should be able to get it easily, but somehow that confidence factor was not kicking in. So that's why I kept on researching and then trying to find the right person. It took me around 3 to 4 months to find you. Right. So, well, one day while I was just doing some, research on YouTube, so how this L1 process, and somehow your name popped up, and I've seen a couple of your interviews, and I thought, this guy seems to be decent, so let's reach out. Once I reached out, so then the first thing I was so impressed was, like, so you did not come right away to my call, and your team came to my call first, so that was the first step. They have taken their time, and then they have taken they have asked all the right questions. They have made sure that, so I'm the right person for you even to speak to, right? So that was the first thing, so I was so impressed, because whatever the calls I had before, the attorney used to come online immediately, and then just we just make the payment, and then they will ask a series of questions. They will announce the decision, something like that happened. But when it came to Shamayev, right, it was so process oriented, like, so the minute I spoke to your person, it started feeling like you guys are professionals, and then you have done this before. You know what you're doing, you know what you're talking. So I got my first impression there. So then, while I was having a call with another attorney in parallel, I canceled it. So somehow I understood that, so this could be the right firm, right team, right? So once your person, I'm not sure, I don't remember her name exactly, but she was so professional. She has taken the entire information of what my company is doing, so what are all the documentation that we have, what is my intention, how I want to expand. So many good questions came, right? So then I was
And maybe some of those questions gave you the ideas about your future expansions too.
Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. It gave me clarity, right? It gave me a clarity of thought, So this is how we are going to collate all the information, provide all the information. So then how it is going to be in the future. So then it was great. It was great first call. So even before I talked to you, I made up my mind, like, so this team is right. Then I just have to speak to the attorney and then finalize it. Once I spoke to you, if you remember, we finalized everything in 15 minutes, though it was a 30 minutes consultation. We finalized everything in 15 minutes, like, so, and you gave me the confidence that I have made the right decision. And you gave me the full details in that short span of time. What are all benefits that we are going to get once I move to the states, and you are impressed with what we are doing in Ragvi Tech, our company, and also that was the point, Stan. So kind of, so once I spoke to you, and it was, if you remember, everything was immediate. So we had immediately stepped into the process, step one, right? That is one thing I liked, right? You have a multi step process where you have a clarity of thought. You have a clear process defined. Each step, what I can expect, each step, so how it is going to be. It was not there with any of the other. It could be there with some other forms, but I did not get a chance to anybody to speak to. But whoever I have interacted, there was no such process at all. So being in the professional industry, I know the importance of the process. So how meticulous we have to be in this step-by-step process. That's what I loved about Shamayev firm, right? So yeah, as you said, it was a little bit longer process, but the more you're always affirming that I always prefer quality, or so even if it takes a bit more of my time, I want to make sure that so all documentation is of high quality,
Sure.
and your team lived up to that mark, man. When I saw that petition, 900 pages petition, like so it
Like,
kind of
oh my God.
was kind of so I was thinking somewhere around 200 or 300 pages petition you are going to prepare, but when it was kind of, it was so difficult for me to even print that.
Yeah, and and
Yeah.
and that did not have any translations because it was all in English,
No.
right? Usually
Yes,
that's with the
yes,
translations. Yes.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, it's thank you for the good words, Srinivasarao. I really appreciate that. By the way, guys, those of you who wanna start your process of immigration to the US, like Srinivasarao did, you need to do the free evaluation first step. That's the series of questions on the form that you guys need to answer before I could take a look at that and see if there's a potential in the case. And the links are going to be below this YouTube video for those of you who guys watching it offline. Just click on the link, get that free evaluation out of the way so we could determine if your case has a potential and start the dialogue and move you to the next steps. All right, good. So let's discuss your case in particular, and I want you to answer specific questions because L1 has a bunch of criteria. We need two companies, one outside of the US. You must be the executive or managerial position for this company. There must be a structure in the company with managers and other executives and people who do the actual work, and also the idea of expansion to the startup in the US. And we need to prove all that with a bunch of documents. So tell us which documents you were producing to establish your position in your company in India, and what was the most difficult document or the category of documents that gave you a lot of hard time?
Yes, so I would say, yeah, so I would say the document that was a little bit difficult. It was not so giving any hard time, but it was difficult was so to produce that key responsibilities in a very much meticulous, in detail fashion, right? So that is where we have, though we are doing on a daily basis and we are tracking everything, but to give it in detail, like so what I do minute to minute on a daily basis, right? So that entire process that has to be clearly defined. So that is one document, key responsibilities, and how I spend my time on a daily basis. For
Your
me,
functions, your main functions
yes,
of a company.
my functions mainly, and at the same time for my key personal, right? So because as we have a big team in India, so the documentation, we have to provide entire documentation that so you ask for each and every person, right? So starting
And
from
I
the org
remember
chart.
we gave them the pictures of all your
Yes,
employees in
yes,
the
yes,
petition,
yes.
so it looked really good as a
Yes,
big team.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So when we asked for we have to go back and speak to the team for the some of the documentation also, right? So even including their personal information and their LinkedIn profile, their photos and all, and our HR team has to coordinate with all those key people, and with such a big team of so around 80 plus 90 plus people, we have to provide that entire org chart and then drill it down to a level of so the key responsibilities of key personnel, and provide what they are going to do, what they do on a daily basis, what are their functions, their responsibilities, their roles. So it was at some point of time I thought like so I never thought it in this much detail. So this team is asking me, and then that made us sure, like so we put lot of focus there, and then make sure that the documentation, because other documentations were easy, it was always there, right? So whether their appointment letters, so experience letters, everything, they
Right.
were always there. Then we just have to pull them up and then provide to you. But your team, even a slightest of grammatical mistake, they will catch, right? So when we
Right.
provide, yeah,
With
when we provide,
microscope looking.
Yes. Like, so we think like my team obviously helped me, and then the team comes to me and see how come Irina can look at this kind of line, and then she provide this kind of feedback on a grammatical mistake. So it was kind of that is a difficult thing, because so we have to make sure that we double check, triple check all the documentation before changing the status, right? You have that changing status mechanism where you will not even look at the documentation if I don't change it to the attorney or paralegal status, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I keep it at client documentation, the feedback I get from your team is like, please change the status first, right? So but your team has been very patient, man. So it is kind of they answer at odd times of our time zone as well. Like, so even in the morning times, though it was night for them, sometimes they gone out of their working hours and they responded immediately. It was the coordination, right? So it was the easy. It was very easy coordination because the team was so supportive in both the sides, from my side and your side. But at the same time, that is a difficult process because the coordination is so meticulous, right? And so we get always lot of feedback, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have to work on that, and sometimes your team has to work on it. When we ask questions, they have to reach out to you, they have to provide that feedback, we have to incorporate and all. This entire handshake, I would suggest everybody who is considering is like, so you have to spend quality amount of time, you or your team has to spend quality amount of time to make sure to make most out of Stanislav's team, right? So
Right.
the more quality information you provide, the better they are able to come up with the petition.
Correct. So that's the set of documents coming from your Indian company. Now we also had to provide a bunch of documents about your idea of the startup in the US. What
Yes.
were those documents, and was there any difficulty to produce those?
Yes, there was no difficulty as such, so because we are opening the company as a new office in United States, right? So that is where your team helped me and pointed to me the right teams who can help us with opening the company here, establishing the company here, obtain the EIN, open a bank account for us, and then suggest us, so what are all other you can say that leasing the office, right? So we have
Mm-hmm.
leased the office here in the Austin, the physical office. I had to send people from here who I know, and then check the right office at the right place, and the right area as well. We have taken a 1,000 square feet office area and all, because it is definitely must. If you are expanding the
Mm-hmm.
business as a new
Mm-hmm.
office, we have to hire people in the future, and then we have to show that we have a physical office present, and the lease is going on. It's an ongoing process, and then the lease has to be at least 1 year
Mm-hmm.
from the time of petition, right? So that is these are all the things that we have to take care of, and then your team obviously helped me with the right point. And one more thing I forgot, like the business plan,
Business
right? So
plan,
that business
yes.
plan, it was very important factor. So you have pointed me to the right people there, and then they helped us in defining the business plan also in a right and orderly fashion. And this team, the other team has helped us in establishing the office and bank account, EIN number, and also relatively for us it is relatively easy because you have given us the right point of contact, and then they were also so professional, and they have completed their work much faster, right? So only our part of documentation took some time, but these things were very fast. Especially we are a new office, so then we at some point of time, me and my team felt like, so as we are a new office, it is really good. If we are already an established office, then we should have spent a few more months in providing all the entire documentation of US office also, right? Just like India
Mm-hmm.
office, how we are how
Of
we have
course.
provided.
Yes. Yes.
But the forms that you have pointed towards in helping in establishing these factors, they were very helpful. It was kind of very smooth in terms of new office setup, EIN, bank account. These are the very important factors, and leasing the office and business plan. So these are the main factors there. And the other point of other documentation point is kind of how the reporting structure is going to be once I step into USA, right? So
Mm-hmm.
whom we are going to hire, how the again the three-layer structure possibility in 1 year, how it is going to be in first year, how it is going to be in 3 years, how it is going to be in 5 years, and what each and every person who I am going to hire is going to do, and where they are going to sit in the office, right? So we have taken the
Mm-hmm.
photographs of that and
Yeah,
pointed
of
at, so
course.
yeah, so
Yes.
this person will sit here, this person will sit here, and also it was so again too detailed.
Hmm. And I think it's also a good exercise to give you better clarity and structure for your future idea that you're going to implement in the US.
Yes, yes.
Srinivasarao, do you mind to share the amount of money that you were planning to invest in a startup through the business plan? So other people knew what they should think about. What are the sums over there?
Yes. So I think so initially you have to fund at least a minimum of 100K. So in the during the visa process, and in the first 1 year, I would say that we you should be able to invest at least 400 to 500K. So 500K USD, half a million USD,
Mm-hmm.
and hire at least 8 to 10 people minimum, right? So
Yeah.
that is how even to for your business to thrive, that much is minimum, right? So you have to invest that much, and then you have to make sure that your intentions are clear, your hiring intentions are clear, your business plan is up to the mark. This is what, and beyond 1 year it is up to how the business is growing, how you are hiring, everything. So these factors will definitely influence, but everybody wants to come here to do good and to do the business expansion in the right way. But as a starter, I would suggest that a minimum of 100K and above to be funded during the time of petition, and give a clear planning of how much you are going to invest in the first 1 year, first 12 months,
Mm-hmm.
whom you are going to hire and all. I would suggest a total of at least a half a million.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would make a little mark there in case you want to get to the EB1C level to get the green card. Like that's anywhere probably. I've never seen less than 250, but it could be definitely more. So I want to ask you two more questions. Number one, where do you see your company in 3 to 5 years? What's your ideal picture with the how your business is doing financially, as to the personnel working there? And the last one would be, what could you advise to other people who are in the beginning of this process or they're thinking to start this process? What would be your best recommendations to them?
Yes, yes, sure. So, regarding my business, so everything is going as per my business plan, and then I sincerely hope that it is going to go beyond the business plan what we have made. So initially hire the around 10 people in the first 1 year, and then go from there. And as of now, we are on the right path, and we are doing it right. And a lot of meetings are happening within not even 1 month I came here, right? So a lot of meetings have scheduled and happening. Our hiring process started. So I think we are on the track there. And in next 2 to 5 years, I see that my business is going to multifold and then expand exponentially in next 2 to 5 years. At least I see that a 10x of our company, 10x of our revenues are going to happen at a minimum scale. Anything above, it will
Yeah,
sound like exaggeration, but this is something that so I'm pretty much confident of with the meeting that I'm scheduling, with the encouragement that my network is providing with me from past few weeks and all. It was every day. It is double confirming that so I made the right decision, right? So
mm-hmm.
what I want to, what our team wanted to achieve, it is going to definitely happen in terms of revenues and everything. So our company in India is going to grow. Our company in US is going to grow. We are going to grow as a proper corporate. That is there on the line. Yeah. For your second question, so I think I have already answered that, but I'll tell again one more time. It is kind of this is where you are already the people who came to Stanislav, right? So your major important step is already done. So you found the right person, you found the right attorney and team. He has a big team. He himself runs a corporate, right? So kind of it's a big team. He has, and everybody knows what they are doing. So they will tell you what to do, but most of the time, mostly it is our responsibility as an aspirant to provide the right information at the right time and make sure that there are no deviations in your documentation. And then you, I would say that never lie, right? So you provide all the right documentation, ask questions to Stanislav and team if you have any questions, if you have any doubts. They're always there to clarify. So as long as you provide the right documentation at right time, and if Stanislav takes your case, it is kind of it is kind of a given, right? So you are going to get that petition approval 100%. I would say 100%. I know that it varies from case to case, but in my case, you told me that it is 100%, but for your sake, I'm just saying 99.99%, something like that
Right.
in our first
Yes.
call, right? So yeah. But I took it as 100% because when you sounded so confident, I was sure that, so this is this is the right team. So when if Stanislav takes the case, mostly it is like if he sees that kind of potential, he will take the case. But it is up to us to make sure that he gets all the documentation at right time, the right documentation he requires, and ask the questions also at right time, so that at a later point of time you will not be surprised that this has to be extended, or so it will take a lot of time. If this documentation is not what we have discussed and all, please make sure that so all the questions are asked at this starting stage, and he will be more than happy to help you with all the answers. His team is very helpful. I'll just say that provide all the right documentation at the right time, and you are going to get the approval.
Yeah, correct. I would. I think this is a great. This is a great final recommendation to be able to follow the instructions and provide the documents within the deadlines that we set in the case, because pretty much everything we do is to get the result to the client and do it efficiently. So, guys, I want to remind you about the free evaluation. That's how to get to know if you have the potential in your case. That's how Srinivasarao started. That's how everybody else starting the case. So we have the same procedure for anyone, regardless of the background. Srinivasarao, thank you very much for your genuine presence and the answering the question, providing the information without holding anything back the way it is. I believe this is a great session for people to get confidence in the process and see the potential in their cases, not only for L1 but also O1 is a great visa for Indians, and also EB1A, the talent visa, EB1C. That's something that awaits you in the future. And I wish you the happy holidays, the happy holiday season. You're gonna love it in the US with all this holiday mood and all these songs and everything else. I wish your business does X10, maybe X20. The growth, the success of my clients is also. I feel that some participation, a little bit of my contribution to that. So it's always my success as well. And I wish your company grows faster than you expect, and we get you approval for EB1C faster and easier than we think it is.
Great. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Stan. So your contribution is one of the definitely major factors in whatever we are going to do in the future. So I wish all the best for the future aspirants. I'm sure that they are in your safe hands. So yeah, thank you so much. You have happy holidays. Thanks for having me on your webinar. More than happy to recommend you anytime.
Sure, we'll do one more once we get approval for EB1C to finish the
Yeah.
cycle.
Yes. That is our next plan.
That's the next plan. Yes,
Yeah.
Srinivasarao, thank you very much, and we'll keep in touch. We're gonna get this thing done once we're ready. So good
Yes.
luck and take care.
Thank you. You too.
Okay,
You too. Take care.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.